Welcome back, and if you're new here, my name's Michael Evans, and today we're going to talk about this new camera. That's right, I got my hands on this Leica SL3-S with the 24 to 90 variable aperture lens. This lens paired with this camera is just amazing. I really enjoyed using it when I wasn't doing product photography. We'll get to that in a little bit, but it's really just a magical combo with this setup. It's a whole new system for me to learn. I spent 2 hours probably just going through the settings and watching videos to see how I can go about using this for my use case. I was looking for, or am looking for, something to replace my A7R5, and I wanted to see if it was something that would be viable to do that. But like I said, we'll get a little bit more into that later. This lens though is just a magical setup. I'll show some of the images a little bit later on when I went out to a sunflower field. The images that came out were just amazing. The way that it renders the detail and the sharpness is just kind of unparalleled. This might, as Brandon Talbot said, be the best zoom lens ever. So like I was saying, I went out to this sunflower field and the photos just came out amazing. So here's a little footage from that. So out here in this sunflower field, which really didn't have that many sunflowers, I think they just didn't have a good crop this year. I was using the Leica SL3-S, and I was using it on full manual just to get used to all the controls and how everything worked. And I think the images came out amazing. This lens just renders in such a unique, different way that I haven't been able to see on other cameras that I've used. Boom, 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 boom. I was using the face and body detection with the focus mode on this, and it worked really well. It was snapped right onto her face, and I didn't really have any misfocused images. Everything came out really amazing. But when I was in front of the camera with no one behind it, I noticed that it was a little bit different when trying to get that focus to follow me and track me as it did when I was behind the camera. I feel like if you're behind the camera and you're using this as the photographer and not as someone that is in front of the camera, this camera is just amazing. I really don't have any negative things to say toward the camera if you're just going to only be behind the camera. It focuses very well. It's pretty snappy. And I really don't have any issues when I'm behind the camera. But when I'm in front of it, a few things come into play. So first we can talk about the remote camera settings when you're using the app on the phone. So let's go ahead and open up the Leica app. I wanted to show the tracking. I was having a lot of issues with this. I don't know, maybe I'm not doing it right, but I have it on face and body tracking on the camera, and I just can't get it to do any sort of showing that it's tracking in the app. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm not doing it right. Also, there's not a lot of features in the remote settings. This is in photo. In video, there are no remote settings. You can only do the shutter speed, f-stop, and ISO, and the exposure compensation. So we're gonna go back to photo. There's just really not a lot there. In self timer, there is a couple of extra options like the Leica looks and stuff like that, but not very much. However, in the Sony app, there are a ton of customizations that you can do to use the remote app. There's just a ton here, from your shooting mode to how you want your framing to be, to all of that. So in here, you can see the tracking working. Just one tap, it works perfectly fine. I've honestly never had any issues with it tracking. Turn that off, but in the menu, you can see there's just a ton of stuff in here that you can turn on and off, so you can see it here, and it just seems to work really well for me. The flip out screen is great. Like I said, if you're behind the camera, it articulates and everything, and it's fantastic for that. But it's really hard to see when I'm doing top-down shots, unless I were to get like a ladder or something so I could see down above the camera, or maybe if I were to set it up every single time to use the app and stage the camera on a C-stand where I could do my top-down shots, that will be probably feasible, but that's kind of cumbersome to do every time I want to do shots. Also, when I'm doing talking head stuff with the video, I was noticing that it wasn't focusing on me, and it was a little hard to get that focus to stick on me when I was moving around, or even if I would just set up the camera and I would use a remote app, it just wouldn't focus on me even though I was tapping on it where I was. But you guys can let me know in the comments, maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Next, I want to show you guys some clips of the different codecs that this shoots in. This does show that it was not focusing on my face as well in a couple of these clips, so let's see that. This is shot in ProRes C4K at 23.9 frames per second in a 10-bit 422 HQ. This is shot in ProRes C4K at 59.9 frames per second. You can see there's a slight crop in this. This is also shot at 10-bit 422 HQ as well. This is 8.264 in 4K, shot at 23.9 frames per second, not in log, with a natural profile setting. This is the high contrast black and white picture profile. This is the Leica brass picture profile. This is shot in H.265 6K open gate with a 420 10-bit format at 23 frames per second. I'm not sure what's happening here, but in the ProRes, when I was shooting in 23.9 and 59.9 frames per second, it's showing bars, black bars on the top and the bottom, if you go back and look at that. And it's not filling out the frame of what 4K is, as it when I'm shooting with my Sony right now. I also, me being me, wanted to show some images that I did of flat lays with this camera. It was great. I just really had an issue with trying to shoot, like I said, that top-down stuff, with not being able to see the camera lens. So here's a couple of photos. I really do like the color science of the Leica. I feel like it's a little more blue, which I tend to like. And with the Sony, I find that I'm having to remove a little bit of green by adding more magenta, and it sometimes can get a little difficult to get the exact color that I want within my images. I did rent this camera myself. It wasn't given to me or a loaner or anything like that. I rented it from Lens Rental. It was about $500. And I just, like I said, I'm looking for something that would replace my A7R5. but this just isn't the system in this format for my work for me. Before we end this video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I am looking to switch from Sony. With my Sony camera, this is just an amazing piece of technology. The A7R5 focuses and everything flawlessly, no issues with that. But it does kind of sometimes feel like I just have a computer in my hand, and whatever I point it at, it is gonna capture flawlessly, like no issues or anything like that. Like I was just saying, so some of the strengths feels like it's its weaknesses. But I just wanted to see if I could get something with a little bit more character that will fulfill the needs that I have for a camera system. This camera just does so many things well. It's hard to match it against some other things for me in my use case, but that is kind of the reason why I was looking to switch to another brand, and why I have been renting some cameras like the Fujifilm GFX 102 to see, along with this Leica, to see if it was something that would be in the wheelhouse of a camera that I would be switching to. So for now, I think I'm going to stay with the Sony, and it's a great camera. The only issue I have with it was, like I was saying, it just feels like a computer in your hand and it's doing everything for you. But I don't really have much else to say about it. If you have any other questions, please leave a comment below and I'll try to get to everything anyone asks. Look at this lighting. The sun is really coming in right now. But I just wanted to make a video going over some of the features of this camera. This is not a full overview or anything like that for this Leica SL3-S. It's just kind of showing my use case and how I use the camera for what I like to do, which is mostly product photography. So hopefully this will help you in some way if you're switching from one brand to another. Maybe you're going to Sony, or maybe you're going to Leica, or you're switching from a different brand. But let me know in the comments below what camera you're using if you made it this far. I'd love to know and get to know what you guys are doing. If you like this video, as usual, please like and subscribe, as it helps a ton. And I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.